There on the field, the pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beatsis is singing "Fight, Vols, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, continuing to track the transfer portal. Names still going in, names coming out, keeping you guys up to date. This coaching staff, the University of Tennessee, seems to have a lot of interest in the wide receiver position. I know you guys keep talking about defense, and there's a little bit of traction there with a few players on the defensive side of the ball. We've talked about a couple of them, but they're really prioritizing the wide receiver position. Now, why is that? Why would they be prioritizing wide receiver? Well, again, you got Jimmy Callaway, Jimmy Holiday, both in the transfer portal. Cedric Tillman off to the NFL next year. And the more this plays out, the more I keep thinking Jalen Hyatt has to be heading off to the NFL. And I don't blame him. Go make that money. Go get that bag. Go take care of your family. But I think that leaves this coaching staff wanting to add another wide receiver through the transfer portal. We've talked about a few of them already. Missouri wide receiver Dominic Lovett is in the portal. Tennessee has had some communication there. They've already offered two other wide receivers, Dante Thornton, the Oregon wide receiver that's in the portal, and also Mississippi State wide receiver Ra Thomas. They've officially offered both of those kids, made videos on all three of those wide receivers. Go back, check those out if you missed those, kind of get into the scouting reports, who those guys are. But another wide receiver entered the portal yesterday, and Tennessee was quick to pull the trigger and go ahead and offer. We'll talk about all that in just a second. As always, you guys know the deal. Go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin Vols Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We are fans just like you guys. For the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. I'll be live tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, playing some NCAA football, hanging out, chill stream, always laid back. We'll talk a little Tennessee football. Then we're going to be live next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time for a fan call-in show. That's where you, the listener, gets to come on and run the show. So don't miss that as well. But let's jump into it. Take a look at it. Kent State wide receiver Devontez Walker has entered the transfer portal. Now, this was yesterday. Shortly after that, Tennessee again was quick to go ahead and pull the trigger. They have officially offered Devontez Walker. I would say what you're going to see, saw an article from 247 Sports that they're going to try to get Walker on campus for a visit. I think that's how this thing's going to play out. I don't see Tennessee taking more than one wide receiver in the portal. Maybe I'm wrong. But maybe they are trying to prioritize this position, get one guy. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. But they have officially offered Devontez Walker. Says here, Kent State wide receiver Devontez Walker has entered the portal, according to On3's Matt Zenitz, a true sophomore that recorded 950 yards from scrimmage this season. He played high school football at Charlotte West, where he was a three-star prospect coming out of high school. You can see there the rankings in the 2019 recruiting cycle. So again, Devontez Walker enters the portal on Friday, same day Tennessee officially offers. Now, he was the MAC Conference wide receiver of the year. Statistically, as a freshman in 2021, didn't see a whole lot of action. Had 5 catches for 124 yards and a touchdown. This year, as a sophomore, kind of had that breakout season. 58 catches, 921 yards, 11 touchdowns for Devontez Walker. So again, I've talked about this a lot. It's one of those deals where these kids, they kind of showcase their skills at a lower school, and then they bump up to the big boys, come to the SEC. It just means more, right? It just means more in the SEC. So Devontez Walker, one of those cases where he goes, he has a breakout year, his sophomore year. Now he's entering the portal and looking to move up. And it's almost like minor league baseball. It's like, and we talk about it being unrestricted free agency, and that's kind of what it is. And, you're seeing Tennessee take their time with these guys, that they're kind of vetting them almost, and they're going through the recruiting process, visits, conversations, phone calls. Devontez Walker, 6'3", 192 pounds. I think he's one of those guys. We've seen Josh Heupel wants to have guys a little bit bigger on the outside. You've got Squirrel White in the slot. I've seen some people talk and saying that Tennessee could even potentially take 2 wide receivers. I don't know if that's the case. I think they're probably just going to stick with one. But they like those bigger guys on the outside, the quick guys on the inside. You look at the wide receiver room for next year. And again, Jimmy Callaway, Jimmy Holiday off to the transfer portal, Cedric Tillman off to the NFL. I keep coming back to Jalen Hyatt. And, I know he sat down after winning the Biletnikoff Award and he kind of said 50-50, got to talk about NIL, got to talk about this, but he's also talking about opting out of the bowl game. If he opts out of the bowl game, he's gone. There's only one reason and one reason only that you would opt out of that game, and that's if you're off to the NFL. So then he's going to make a decision sometime next week. But the more I look at it, the more I think that Jalen Hyatt is just gone. I think he's gone. Now you've got Brew McCoy on the outside. Are you looking for somebody to kind of push Ramel Keaton? We saw Ramel Keaton flash at times this year. I like what he did. I like him kind of improving and coming along. He says he's coming back for next year. Is Brew McCoy, Ramel Keaton on the outside, Squirrel White in the slot. You got some good young wide receivers, Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb. But clearly this coaching staff continues to prioritize the wide receiver position. Does Devontez Walker fit into the mix in that wide receiver room? Again, breakout season at Kent State, 58 receptions, 921 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Who do you like more when you look at who Tennessee has offered, who they are in conversations with? Missouri wide receiver Dominic Lovett, Oregon wide receiver Dante Thornton, Mississippi State transfer Ra Thomas. I know a lot of you guys are worried about defense, and I'm worried about defense too. It's a huge concern. It's a huge need on this football team. But as we talk about it, as we talk about the defensive side of the ball, is it Jimmy's and Joe's or is it X's and O's? Because I know a lot of you guys are not sold. You're not sold on Tim Banks. You're not sold on Willie Martinez. We keep talking about defensive backs, but when you look at the names that Tennessee is pursuing defensively in the transfer portal, the big name would be Dasan McCullough. He's the Indiana edge rusher. Made a video on him last week as well. If you missed that, go back and check it out. According to VolQuest, Brian Jean-Marie actually visited with Dasan McCullough this week. Not seeing a whole lot of activity in the secondary. And look, I get it. You don't have to get it done now. You've got time, but there's a lot of big time names entering into the portal. But when you talk about those big time names, when you guys, everybody on Twitter, it's almost comical. Every time somebody ends the portal, here we go. You got the GIF with the monkey on the phone. You got the eyeball emojis. Everybody's always watching every name that enters the portal. But when you start talking about these big time 5-star prospects or big time stud guys entering the portal, how many of those guys know where they are going before they even enter the portal? Through back channel communications, talking to previous teammates. You're not supposed to tamper. You're not supposed to be going and looking at other rosters and talking to kids, but we all know it's happening all across the country. You weren't supposed to pay players until just recently. We know that's been happening for years as well. It's the reality of college football. There is back channel communications. They are talking to these kids. They're entering the portal. We saw it last year. We saw it last year with a couple of big-time prospects. Your Biletnikoff Award winner last year knew exactly where he was going when he entered the portal. I think that's the case when you're talking about the big-time prospects. But I think when you've got some good players, I'm excited about if they bring in Dante Thornton or Ra Thomas or Dominic Lovett or even Devontez Walker. Looking at his film, looking at his highlights from this year, I think he would add a lot to this football team. But I think it's a different process when you're looking at this level of player versus when you're looking at a Jordan Addison last year when he entered the portal. But you guys know the deal. Hit the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Again, Devontez Walker, breakout year for Kent State, MAC Conference, wide receiver of the year. How do you think he would fit into this offense? I think he's a guy that's going to be on the outside at 6'3", 192. But what do you think? We continue to talk wide receivers because that seems to be where the interest is at. Are you getting concerned? Are you getting concerned about the defensive side of the ball? Hit the comment section. Let me know. As always, make sure you guys do smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' Vols. Any and all sport, greatly appreciated. Go pick up something for Christmas. Pick up something for that special Talkin' Vols fan in your life. Go grab them something wrap it up, get it under the Christmas tree. We appreciate all the support. As always, thank you to every single member of this channel, whether you give 99 cents a month or whether you give $10 a month. You guys keep the lights on. When we go through the off season, it is a grind. It is a grind to pay the bills around here. So we appreciate you guys hanging with us. If you want to join, hit that join button down below. Any and all sport, as always, appreciate it. That's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.